parts and functions of a flower, is it? Do you remember the parts of a flower?
Stigma.
Yes.
There is sepal.
Sepals, petals,
Stigma.
anther.
There is,
Stigma.
yeah, there is
Stigma.
sepal, there is petal, stigma.
Stigma.
Ovary.
Is it ovary?
Ovule.
Ovule. Before that, I want to write. Okay. Those who are present, I have to write the names. Today is 11/1. Okay. So who is present? Ammar, Abdul Mahmeen, Duha, Farah, Mubarak, Yusuf. Okay, anyone else? Ammar, Abdul Mahmeen, Duha, Farah, Mubarak, Yusuf. Is it?
Yes.
Okay, so we will start. So last day we learned about the parts of the flower. If we start from outside, there are two green leaf structures. It is known as
Sepal.
sepal, which is protecting the flower before it opens, and then the petals, which is colored, and then it is attracting. So I think he is revising there here also. We'll see.
The key coming back to this summary to remind us on the journey of how a plant reproduces. You've got gamete formation, making the pollinating eggs, pollination, which is how the male gamete gets the female one. Then fertilization, when they fuse together. Then you make the seed and the fruit, then you disperse that seed, hopefully then you get the germination and the offspring being fully produced. Okay, so we're on to the next stage.
So yeah.
Fertilization. The pollen has an
Okay, sorry. It is. So you can see the petal, sepal, and this is which part, male or female?
Male.
Male part of the flower, and this is the anther in which the pollens, male sex cell is produced, and this is the filament which is holding the anther, and then the female part is this one, style, stigma, and ovary. Where can you see the ovules or egg?
In the ovary.
The ovary, and the male part together, that means the anther and filament together, it is known as stamen, and the female part, stigma, style, ovary, together it is known as
Carpel.
carpel. So you know that one. Okay.
Yes.
Next part we said is about the pollination. Do you remember that also?
Yes.
Pollination is transfer of pollens from the anther to the stigma of the flower. Okay. If this happens in the same flower, in this flower, there is anther, the male part, and also there is the female part. So if it happens in the same flower, we call it as self-pollination. And if it happens in different flowers, like pollen from one flower, if it falls on the stigma of another flower of same species, same type, we call it as cross-pollination. That also we finished. About the insect and wind pollination, actually it is not included in the syllabus. So we just, I gave you only. Okay. Now, next part is the fertilization. So once the pollen falls on here, the next is fertilization. So, you know, pollen is falling here only, is it? And
yes.
The egg is where, ovule is where? Here.
Ovary.
So how can the pollen reach the ovule? This is what is explaining. Okay, first you see the picture, then I will explain.
It carries the pollen largely on the stigma, but actually you'll notice there's now a big gap between where the pollen is at the top of the stigma and where the egg is inside the ovule. So just because they're now on the same plant, they're not yet.
So have you seen the pollen?
Yes.
The pollen is falling on the stigma, that is the pollination occurred. Now, what happens is the pollen will make a tube. It is growing as a tube down through the style, and then it is coming till the ovule, okay? And that tube carries the nucleus of pollen. Because actually during fertilization, the nucleus of pollen and nucleus of ovule both are joining together. Did you get it?
Yes.
Every
Yes.
cell is having a nucleus which is carrying the genes. So the genes we are giving to the next generation. That is why the pollen of the flower, pollen from the anther, the nucleus of the pollen, it is fertilizing the nucleus of the ovule. So the pollen is making a tube through which the nucleus of pollen will come down, and then it will fertilize the nucleus of the ovule. Okay, we will see that one.
Combined, not fertilized, they're not fused. At this point, pollen growth goes down the style, it digests its way down the style using the enzymes, and the nucleus will travel down that pollen tube and enter into the ovule, and there the nucleus can fuse with an egg nucleus, so you can form that cycle.
Have you seen how it is fertilized?
Yes.
Okay, so the nucleus is fertilizing the ovule. Okay, now the fertilized ovule becomes a seed. You know seeds.
Yes.
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 Because from the seed only a new plant is coming up. So the fertilized egg becomes a seed. And how many eggs are here?
6.
Six.
So how many seeds can be there?
6.
6.
6 seeds can be made. Is it? Because 6 pollens can fertilize 6 ovules. So that 6 seeds can be made. And then this part, what do you call for this part?
Ovary.
Ovule.
Ovule.
The ovary becomes the fruit. Okay, so the fertilized ovule becomes the seed, this becomes the seed, and the ovary becomes the fruit. And wall of the ovary, have you seen the wall of ovary?
Yes.
Ovule
Yes.
is the egg, sorry.
Fertilization has occurred.
I don't know.
So we've got a fertilized egg cell, and that is then going to be encased inside a seed.
What happened to this?
Baby plant, as it were, it's going to have a little baby root, a little baby shoot.
Okay. Okay, so the wall of the ovule, this is the ovule, wall of the ovule becomes the seed cord. The seed has a protective covering, and that covering is from the wall of the ovule. So did you get the 3 structures?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the first one, the fertilized ovule becomes what?
Seed.
Seeds.
Seed. And the ovary becomes
Fruit.
fruit. And
Fruit.
the wall of the ovule, the ovule becomes the seed cord
Gold.
to
Cover.
protect the seed. Okay, now you see here.
So you can form that zygote. So fertilization has occurred. Okay, so we've got a fertilized egg cell, and that is then going to be encased inside a seed. This baby plant, as it were, which is going to have a little baby root, a little baby shoot, will be encased inside a seed, and the ovule becomes the seed coat, the outside of the seed, and that ovary becomes the whole fruit that you find the seeds. So when you find an apple, you look at an apple, what you're actually eating there is a plant ovary. You've got the plant ovary, and you'll notice obviously the seeds inside the apple which are encased there. And as I said, inside the seeds you've got a baby root called a radicle and a baby shoot called a plumule. They'll also be inside that.
Okay, now I will just show you something in the board. Okay, I don't know where is the page. Okay, so the ovule becomes seed, ovary becomes fruit, ovule wall becomes the seed coat. And you know the seed is like this. Is it?
Yes.
The
Yes.
seed,
Yes.
actually, you know what is the seed? Have you eaten the seeds?
No, we don't eat
Yes.
it.
No.
Yes, you used to eat it. You know, like
Yes.
I have seen many times, like in packets, you are getting the roasted seeds. You open the shell and eat it. You don't eat
No.
the
No.
sunflower
I
seeds,
don't
the
know.
black seeds, sunflowers, roasted
Yes, yes,
sunflower seeds.
sunflower seeds.
I'm sure you use, I don't know what you call in Arabic for that one.
Habshams.
Habshams.
Yes. So this thing, is it tasty or not tasty?
Tasty.
It is
Tasty.
tasty. So that means
It's very good.
inside the seed, actually, there is a food, starchy food is there. Okay, can you tell me why it is storing starch? Because you know that plants are making their own food. So why should it keep the food for the plants? Why should the seed store food for plants? Plants can make its
To
own food.
grow
To
new plant.
attract insects.
No,
To
just
grow new
think.
plant.
You can say, like you can answer it. My question is, you know that plants are making its own food. So why the seeds should store food for the plant?
To grow new plant.
To grow the plant, but plants can make its own food in the leaves.
To
See,
grow flower.
no, see, I will tell you. A seed contains fruit, and when a seed starts growing, first a root is growing known as radicle. Okay. Then after that only the shoot is growing, that is known as plumule. So when a seed starts growing, which are the two parts that we get from it? First, the root, that is
Radical.
radicle, and then the shoot, that is
Plumule.
plumule. Okay. So you know that a plant is making food in the leaves. Is it?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I told you first the root is growing. So of course, for the growth, the plant need food. But does it have leaves to make? Because first it is growing. Does it have leaves to make food?
No.
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 It doesn't have leaves to make food because first the root is growing. So to grow the root, it needs food. Did you get the idea?
Yes.
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 So plant, the seed has to give food till the shoot is getting the leaves and it can make its own food. Till that time, the seed, the food in the seed will be utilized by this radicle and plumule. That is why it needs, the seeds are storing food. Got it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now, yeah, see, you can see it now.
Yes.
So ovule becomes a seed and ovary in which it is found becomes a fruit. Ovule wall becomes the seed coat and inside it is the embryonic plant made up of a small root called radicle and a small shoot called a plumule. It also contains food for when the plant starts to grow.
Seed a food store because that seed, when it germinates, is going to need to grow the first few stages without any food from photosynthesis because no leaves at that point. So it's going to need a nice store of food as well. Now, as a plant, once you've made your babies, once you've made your seeds, the last thing you want to do is drop them right next to
So
you.
we finished till here. This also over.
Of all the light, all the space, you've got big, big roots under the ground taking up all the water. So you do not want to.
Okay. What is the next step?
Seed dispersal.
Seed disperse.
Did you get all these steps?
Yes.
Yes.
Gamete formation, after that pollination, after that fertilization, then the seed and fruit formation. Then the fifth step is seed dispersal. Do you know what is dispersal?
Spread.
Dispersing means spreading.
Become
So
small.
it is written, seed sent as far away from the parent plant as possible. So they are telling the seeds must be dispersed as far away as possible. Why should the seeds be dispersed far away from the parent plant? Can you reason out?
To get more water.
Yes.
To get more
To
water.
get the water and the other nutrients, because suppose the parent plant suppose it is near the parent plant. Can you see here? Yeah. There is the big tree. Okay. If the small tree is here or small plant is here, will it get water and other nutrients?
No,
No.
because the tree will
Since
take all
the
the
parent
water.
plant has long roots, thick roots, they will take all the nutrients and plant and water. So the baby plant will not get it. Okay. And also you can see here, will it get enough sunlight?
No.
It will not get enough sunlight because it is under the shade of the big tree. So for even you can also think, suppose you are going outside for studies, going abroad for studies. Okay, you will become more independent. But if you are staying with your parents, you will be depending with them, depending on them. But if you are going away from them, what will happen? You will be more independent. Yeah, the same thing is happening here with the plants also. Okay, so seeds must be sent as far away as possible from the parent plant. Okay, we will see how they are moving. So there are many ways for the seeds to get dispersed. Can you tell me some ways?
Wind.
By insects.
By?
Wind.
By wind. Yes, by wind it can be gone.
Insects.
And then
By insects.
by insects or birds or animals, correct? And by water also it can get dispersed. Have you seen coconut with full coconut?
Yes. Yes, yes.
Full coconut has outside the shell, it has a covering, and that covering has lot of air spaces. So once the coconut falls on water, it can float. It will not go down. It can float so that it can be dispersed. It can float to different places. So we will see here how they are dispersed, some of them.
Your baby's not going to grow very well next year. You want to disperse them far and wide to give them the best chance of germinating and surviving to become parent plants themselves. So the next phase is seed dispersal. Now there's all sorts of ways that plants have evolved to get their seeds dispersed as far as they can. You've got things like ones with hooks, so they can stick to coats of animals as animals walk past them. Things like burdock. You've got ones that a lot of seeds get eaten because they're encased inside nice brightly coloured fruits. Birds come along, eat the berry, eat the seed, fly away, do a poo, and out the seed comes inside the bird poo, and there it's travelled far, far away from the parent. Some are explosive, things like beans. They pop and they get big enough and the seed fires out and a good 3-4 feet.
Okay, so he is explaining 3 ways. You don't have to study many of them, but 3 ways at least we have to. See the first one, you can see here lot of spines on the seed. Okay, so when any animal with fur like cat, dog, or even if we pass near them, these seeds can stick on our clothes. If it is an animal, they can stick on the fur of these animals. And then it will be dispersed. When the animal moves, it will go to some other places. So it can fall on the soil and grow from there. Okay.
Okay.
Another one is this one. You can see the fruit. It is very juicy. You can see. So animals and birds, they will eat it. And you know that when they eat this, the seeds are also getting into the body. And the seed will never get digested because of the shell. So when they pass their excretion, this seed also will get out of the body through the excretory waste. And then they will grow there. So you know that maybe from one place they will eat the fruit, but they will pass the excretion, maybe some other place, so that it can grow into a new plant there.
Teacher,
Yes,
is it the same with strawberries?
yes. Strawberries are dispersed in the same way. Like any fruit, any juicy fruit can get dispersed in the same way.
Okay.
Okay. Then next one is this one. This is very interesting. You know, these are the seeds, and the seeds are inside a pod. We call it as pod, P-O-D. So once the seeds get matured, okay, the pods will twist and split open. Got it? The
Yes.
seeds are inside the pod, and once it is matured, it will just twist and split open so that the seeds will be dispersed outside. So it can grow into new plant.
From the parent plant, just enough. Ragwort, dandelions, cotton, etc. use things like the parachute method. Each seed has a number of small little feather-like structure on it to help it float in the wind. As you know, when you blow dandelion, you're blowing the seeds. And a little parachute that carries the seed a long way away. Some have little wings like maple and ash and helicopters, so they just fly just far enough away.
Have you seen this one?
Yes, we know.
Yes. How
Yes.
it is moving, how the seeds are moving?
By the wind.
By the wind, because it is very light. And this also, see the shape of this one, it is like a parachute, is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So this also can get moved through along with the wind.
Based on the parent tree. And things like poppy have big stems that then shake over in the wind and hit the seeds, shake out what we call the pepper pod.
Yeah,
So
this
those
is
are
like
ways
by
of
shaking
dispersing
in the wind, it can get dispersed. So, okay, so these are the 5 steps already over. Is it clear?
Yes.
So any of them, do you have any doubt?
No.
Gamete formation, pollination, fertilization, seed and fruit formation, seed dispersal. Then the last step is germination. Okay, so that also we will see.
Hair defined by tresemme. The rest is defined by you. Tresemme.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire,
So next is about the germination. Do you know what is germination?
So what we're going to do is we're going to work through
Okay.
the
Do you know what is germination?
The seed grows.
Yeah, the growth of the seed. Okay, from the seed, when the small plant comes out, we call it as germination. And already we said, first the root is coming, then the shoot will be growing. Okay, so about the germination, we will see.
these different processes, and we'll keep coming back to this summary to remind ourselves of how far we are on the journey of how a plant reproduces. We've got gamete formation, making the pollen, making the eggs, pollination, which is how the male gamete gets the female one, then fertilization when they fuse together, then you make the seed and the fruit, then you disperse that seed, and hopefully then you get the germination and the offspring being fully produced. Once a seed has been dispersed, that seed is actually in a dormant state. It won't start growing any further into a proper plant unless all the conditions are right. We call this process germination. So a seed only contains about 10%
Okay, so can you tell me what all things are needed for germination?
Water and
Water.
sunlight.
Sunlight.
Water, good. Then
Sunlight.
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 Good.
Okay, water, sunlight. So you are telling, you will write here. Water, then
And
sunlight.
sunlight.
Then any other thing?
Nutrition.
Nutrients.
Nutrition already there. Here the food is there. Then
Okay.
for you
Nutrients.
to grow, what all things you need?
Food.
Food is
Water.
needed, very good. Then
Water.
water is needed, and one most important thing,
Oxygen.
oxygen is needed, very good. Oxygen is needed. Then any other thing for plant?
Nutrients in the dirt.
What did you say?
And nutrients in the dirt.
Nutrients, yeah, nutrients means it is
Nutrients.
there. From here it will grow, no problem. They are
Okay.
having enough food. Something else?
Leaves.
No.
Carbon dioxide.
Okay, so we will see. Now within 10 minutes it will be finishing. Okay, so we need one more thing, but we don't need one thing. See, when the sunlight is needed, tell me, a plant needs sunlight when or for what?
For photosynthesis.
For photosynthesis. Then which part of the plant is making photosynthesis?
Leaves.
Leaves.
Leaves, is it? So, when the plant grows, it is needing sunlight when it gets the leaves. So, till this time, does it need sunlight?
No.
No.
It does
No.
not need sunlight. Okay. So, for the germination, actually, it does not need the sunlight. And think where we are keeping the seeds. We are keeping the seeds inside the soil or into the soil. So,
Yes.
does it get sunlight?
No.
No.
No, it is not getting sunlight. So, sunlight we can just cut. Now, what all things are there? Water, oxygen,
And oxygen.
and then one more thing that is needed is warmth. Warmth is like a proper temperature is also needed. So, you can easily remember this using this. Wow. So, wow means
Water, oxygen,
Water,
warm.
oxygen, warm.
warm. Is it clear?
Warm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we will move on to this one.
Water. But if you really increase the water levels and also give some oxygen and also make the temperature nice and warm, the seed will germinate. So you need water, temperature, and oxygen for germination to occur. The seed contains the little embryo, the little root shoot, and one or two what we call cotyledons. Cotyledons are the food stores which provide the food to get the first bits of growth going until photosynthesis can occur. Now, there is a practical on germination that you need to know about, core practical. How would you investigate the factors needed for germination? What you can do is you can set up this apparatus with 4 tubes, all with the same amount of cotton wool in.
Okay, see, there are 4 test tubes. Since there are 3 factors needed for germination, we have to, when we do the experiment, we have to use 4 test tubes. One should have all these things. See, the first one, it is having water and it is at room temperature and it is having oxygen. So all the conditions are there. Wow. All are there, is it? What about the next one?
Don't have
No
water.
No
water.
water.
No water.
Both the other things are there. Oxygen is there, warmth is there. The third one.
The water is boiled.
No oxygen.
And no oxygen.
Temperature is there, but it is written water is there, but they have written boiled water.
Boiled.
Tell me why?
It's hot water.
No, it is not hot water, actually boiled and cooled. You know what will happen when you boil water? You have seen
It
the
will change
bubbles
to
that is
steam.
coming out.
Fuse.
The
Will
sorry,
change to
oxygen will be removed. So when we boil water, the boiled water will not have oxygen. Got it? Because
Okay.
here it is written no oxygen. So they don't want oxygen from the water. You know, water is made of oxygen and hydrogen. So they don't want to get oxygen even from the water. That's why to remove the oxygen, they are boiling the water. And then you see this. You know what is it?
Yellow.
It's a layer of fat, oil or lipid, anything. When a layer of oil is above the water, oxygen cannot dissolve into the water from the air. Okay, so there is no air. They are making sure that the seeds are not getting any oxygen. They remove the oxygen even from the water, and they don't let the oxygen dissolving into the water even from the atmosphere. Okay.
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 The fourth one is water is there, oxygen is there, and then where is it kept?
In the fridge.
In the fridge. That means which condition is not given?
The warm.
Temperature
The
or
warm temperature is not favorable. So out of them, which will grow?
Number one.
First.
one.
First one will grow because it is getting all the favorable conditions. Okay. Second one, no water. Third one, no oxygen. Fourth one, no warmth.
And all with 10 cresties at the bottom. Put cling film over each tube and control all the other variables to make it a valid experiment. And you leave it for 5 days. And you set it up as shown in this table here. One with, water, room temperature and oxygen. One with no water but room temperature and oxygen. One with boiled water and no oxygen. And one with water in the fridge and oxygen. The results show that only tube 1 seeds will actually germinate. Tube 2 has no water, which means the seed coat can't get broken down and the enzymes getting activated. Tube 3 has no oxygen, as it was boiled, and the oil stops the rest of the oxygen getting in, so there's no aerobic respiration going on, so seeds respire and grow. And tube 4 is way too cold for the enzymes to work. So you need temperature, oxygen, and water for seeds to germinate. You could also set up a tube like tube 1 but cover it in foil to block out all the light and see if that has any effect. Can you predict the results of that experiment? Well,
So they just want to check whether if we don't provide sunlight to them, is there any difference?
No.
Do you think will there be any difference?
No.
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 Sunlight is not needed till the
Yes.
plant gets the leaves. Once the plant gets the leaves, then sunlight is a factor to grow. Got it?
Yes.
Yes.
you'd still expect germination to occur because you don't need light to germinate. So you still expect the seeds to germinate. But I suppose if you left it long enough, you'd get the germination, but then you'd get death because there wouldn't be any light to continue the plant photosynthesizing once it germinates. But it wouldn't affect the actual germination process.
So with that, we are finishing this.
Reproduction.
المكونات الطبيعية تمنحكم أسنان أكثر.
Okay, so with that, we are finishing sexual reproduction in plants. So is it clear?
Yes.
The 6
Yes.
steps?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think tomorrow, the same time, you have to come. Please bring your workbook also, because tomorrow we have to do the
Okay.
workbook.
Okay.
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 So hopefully, because now the time will be finishing, like just 1 minute only.
So we
Okay.
can join
Okay.
again.
So for today, okay. Anyway, thank you. I think I have to put Omar's name also. Omar's name I haven't written. You came late, no? So I will write Omar, your name also. And I have uploaded some homework for you. That is, did you check your homework in the homework?
The
Yes, the last
reproduction.
one.
Yeah, in the homework,
Reproduction.
Yes.
I have kept some, I think 3 worksheets, 3 homeworks. You can select, each of you can select one and then you can do it. That is your choice. Only
Okay.
one. You can select one of them and then you can do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, any one of you, like, it doesn't matter. Suppose Yusuf is selecting 3, homework 3, other can select homework 4, no problem. But you have to select one, each one has to do one from there. And then you have to upload it. And the last submission, like last date is 14th, this Thursday.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
because it has to be marked. 5 marks are there. So please don't miss it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.